In fishing, few choices are either precisely right or blatantly wrong. Rather, angling is a game of percentages, where the odds of fishing particular types of areas using certain styles of lures or baits either raises your odds for success or diminishes your chances for putting fish on the line. In essence, the better the choices you make, the more and bigger fish you're likely to catch. On any given day, are the most active fish likely to be deep, shallow, or in between, using deep offshore structures or shallower shoreline-related spots, lying deep within particular forms of cover, or relating to irregularities along its outer edges? The quicker you zero in on their location, the sooner the fun begins. Today, on The Edge, we pack up the truck with heavy-duty musky tackle and travel deep into the wilds of northwest Ontario to legendary Eagle Lake, a pristine wilderness water that produces some of the largest muskies on the planet. Eagle is deep, clear, and filled with plenty of bait fish to grow big fish. It's also a structural maze of bays, weed beds, reefs, and islands, providing muskies plenty of room to live and roam. You have to cover a lot of water to determine where huge fish are currently active and what it takes to convert heart-pounding follows into savage fish on the line. It's an eagle's eye view of musky madness at its finest, where serious musky hunters come face to face with the king of fresh water.
Yes! 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 Oh, yeah!
Look at that.
Oh, I wanted one of those so bad.
There we
Wow,
go.
is this a Canadian giant or what? Another giant comes out of Eagle.
Closed captioning is provided by Smooth Moves, adjustable boat seat suspensions for a smoother ride.
You know, every year we get a chance to go up to fish in northwest Ontario, and we fish for a real wide variety of different fish species. But today, Jeremy and I are heading up on one of our favorite missions, and that's to hunt muskies on Eagle Lake Island Resort. It could be an interesting activity. I've never been on Eagle Lake. Jeremy boated his largest muskie he's ever caught.
Yeah, my biggest Canadian muskie came out of this body of water, so I'm pretty excited. It's been over a decade since I've been there, and I haven't been to this section of the lake. From what we know, it should be a classic rock reef deal, fishing the main lake thing, and with any luck, we're going to be putting some really big fish in the boat. This is prime time. We got the moon coming up. Everything's
End of August, the water temperature's starting to drop. You can see we got some real big sticks here, and you can't believe the amount of baits we have. And between Jeremy and myself, I don't know how many baits we have. Too many.
We got one boat dedicated just to musky tackle. We're bringing another one for multi-species stuff because we got to go different ways, but it's going to be a fun ride, I know that.
All right, let's hit it.
All right.
You've got a 5-hour trip ahead of us here.
A 5-hour trip is nothing when you're talking about giant muskies. Today, Jer and I are taking 2 vehicles up to northwest Ontario. Our destination, the famous Eagle Lake Island Lodge. This is one of the nicest fishing lodges I've ever been to. It's centrally located on Eagle Lake. It has all the amenities a muskie head would want. Great food, pleasant staff, comfortable cabins, and best of all, lots of 40-pound muskie swimming out there. All you have to do is find them. Like I said, Jer and I have 2 boats up here for a couple of different film shoots we're going on. So on the first day of our trip, we're going our separate ways to divvy up the lake and search out different areas. Then we will combine our knowledge to up our odds on success.
So after splitting up and going our separate ways yesterday, Jim and I are jumping in this boat today, and I want to make sure to have as much information that he had in his boat in this boat. So I just went into his depth finder and grabbed the GPS coordinates and put them on an SD card, and now I'm going to transfer them onto this unit. That way, when he's talking about, oh, there's a rock pile down here that tops off at 4 feet right off of this point, it's hard to remember that just looking at the landscape. So I'll load these things in here, and we'll have all the spots from 2 boats for today. We put a lot of miles on, especially when we're fishing in Canada, fishing big water, wanting to see the whole lake. And one thing that's a real lifesaver on your back is a Smooth Moves seat system. and it's like air ride. I mean, it's just amazing on your back. And if you've spent any time in big rough water, you know how jarring that can be over a long ride. This takes everything away. It's awesome. It makes making the big run a lot more fun.
When you move in, don't get so close. Ooh, big. There's a good one right there.
Wow.
Come here, buddy.
Get her, Jimmy. Get her, get her, get her. I'm just gonna leave the troll going because it's...
Uncompromising, like the fishermen who swear by it.
He's fished here for decades. He knows every hump, every drop-off, every contour. He's dedicated his entire life to understanding this single body of water, and he didn't know squat about it until 2 hours ago. AutoChart Live lets you build your own high-definition maps anywhere in the world in real time. Only with Onyx. Only from Humminbird.
Mercury engine test.
Latest 115 horsepower in its class. It's good to have Mercury behind you.
There's no place like this.
Oh, there's one.
There you go, Jamie.
There's
Nice
one.
fish. Cool.
Mercury engine test.
Toughness you can rely on. It's good to have Mercury behind you.
This segment is brought to you by Northwest Ontario. There's no place like this.
Ooh, big. There's a good one right there. Come here, buddy.
Get her, Jimmy. Get her, get her, get her. I'm just gonna leave the troll going because it's... I don't want to freak her out. She's still there?
Got him.
Nice, you got him. Awesome. Let's go back and get the net. All right. Is it a good one? Have you seen it yet? It looks like it's kicking your butt. Sorry, I just pushed spot lock.
No problem. It's all right.
It's a good one, huh? Oh, yeah.
Buddy, there you go. There you go.
They are strong, aren't they?
There we go.
Water. Come on.
Oh, there you go. Oh, boy, he's a fatso.
That is a fat couple.
Look at this guy. Beautiful fish. Look at that. Look at that.
Really pretty, absolutely.
Oh, what a gorgeous fish. These things are so healthy in this lake. That's what Jeremy was saying, that's with the research that's been done. These are some of the fastest growing fish
In this part of Ontario.
Yeah, these fish grow really fast in Eagle Lake. There's a lot of food in this lake, a lot of shallow water habitat, a lot of deep water habitat, and a lot of food. You better get her back in the water. Come here, buddy. Oh, that guy, gone.
If you want to have success in musky fishing, the bottom line is you got to put in a lot of time, regardless of where you're at. We're on one of the world's most premier musky fisheries in one of the best areas in the world to catch muskies, but you need to get the timing right most of the time to catch fish. And I'd recommend to anybody that was coming up for a musky trip, wherever it is, allow yourself at least a 5-day period. A week-long period is great, but if you get a 3-day window to go fishing or just a day or 2 days, there's a good chance you're not going to hit the conditions just right. But if you have that 4 or 5 days, 6 days, 7 days, and you get a chance to fish every day, you're gonna be able to put stuff together. You need a little time to figure out what the fish are doing, what they're using, and then you need the timing to be right. You need some weather, you might need the moon, but stacking those odds in your favor are certainly huge. But the biggest thing I can say is if you wanna catch muskies, put your time in and allow yourself plenty of time to get it done.
Whoa, there he
Got
is.
him.
There he is. Boy, I saw him
Oh, I
come
just
out
looked
and hit
down.
it, Jer. I said, Jerry, you got one on.
Yeah, yeah, I just looked at the,
What?
oh, I just looked at the depth finder.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, of course, but man, oh man.
No, I turned around, I looked in back of it, and I saw the fish actually come up and hit the bait.
This is the finest fishing boat I've ever been in my life, and I'm so proud because I'm the owner of this one.
As far as fishability with this boat, I'm not limited to one specific type of species. For me overall, it's a fantastic boat.
My job is simple when I'm guiding. It's to find fish and to catch fish, and to be successful at it, you need boat control, and Lund boats, they're second to none.
It's like I went to the factory, they put me in the seat and they said, what do you want? And they built it around me. This is a fishing machine.
Hey, you remember when we were hanging out last night? You know, me, you, Gail.
That's my girl.
You guys are awesome. And then you went to bed.
I was tired.
You were super tired. And then it was just me and Gail.
Mm-hmm.
Alone.
What?
Whoa, yeah!
It's all in the paws. New Shadow Wrap from Rapala.
Auto stow and deploy, power trim, and your choice of iPilot or iPilot Link. Ulterra from Minn Kota. We can't believe it either.
The Edge is presented by these and other fine sponsors.
Perfect. Well, the weather's moving in, and that's a good time to get bit. For sure. I think we're going to be safe on these rocks when you're reef fishing. You really got to pay attention to where you're at so you don't end up smashing into the reef. I'm going to spot lock us, and that'll be a very useful tool.
Okay, there we go.
Bucktailing. You know, when it comes to covering water, we've talked about this a number of times, that the best tool to cover water is a bucktail, and it really does hold true. There's so much water to fish up here that you just need to fish a lot of spots, and to be efficient, this is a great way to do it. You want to come up here, Jim, and net her?
Yep, I will as soon as I get her
barely
out of the,
hooked, Jimmy. Right, here we go.
Okay. See, I'm all right.
Let's watch that bag.
Okay. Whoa.
She's been a tough little bugger. Just
Yeah.
pick the bag up. It's gonna get.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Nice fish.
Yeah.
Another nice fish.
Oh. Wow.
Woo woo! Muskies in the net.
There you go.
All right. We'll just put
just
her on
leave
the
her down.
cleat. Yeah. Great.
Mr. Pinky's produced again.
Yeah, nice. This
I
is
saw
a,
him come out. It was really cool.
This is a nice fish too. Yeah. Wow. Look at this one, huh?
There you go.
Wow. That is a great fish.
Okay.
Oh, that thing was a tough customer too. And this fish came on a giant island complex, and there's so many spots and so much to each one of those spots. It's a complicated subject. So we'd like to share with you how we go about breaking down water for muskies when you're chasing them up in Ontario.
I like the old saying, how do you eat an elephant? Well, one bite at a time. And the same thing applies when you're searching for muskies on giant, complex lakes. You have to break it down into pieces to really understand it. Over the first few days of our trip up here, we looked at hundreds of spots. On the first day, Jeremy searched out a completely different lake basin than I did. Then we compared notes. Which part of the lake were the fish more active? Then we broke it down into different types of cover we fished and how we did. We searched deep weed beds without a bite. Both of us tried some transitional water, where there was some rock and weed cover mixed, and we did catch some small fish. Now we were out on the main lake fishing island complexes with multi-leveled reef structures around them. We are seeing fish, marking bait, and there is just a lot of life out here. It's the third week of August and many species of fish will move out to the main lake basins. There are tons of big reef structures out here. The tricky thing is some are better than others. When you're looking to isolate the better underwater reef systems out on these island complexes, what you want to do is find big expansive shoals of anywhere from like 5 foot to about as deep as 20 foot. It seems like those are the best ones, and you want really big like tabletop flats of that shallower water. Even though that these reef complexes are out in the center of the lake, that big underwater shelf has a tendency to really be key to gather food and also to gather muskies, walleyes, and even big pike utilize these same complexes. There he
Got
is.
him? Nice, big one, Jimmy. Nice. Holy smokes. Top it. Holy smokes, that thing just came out of nowhere and crushed it, huh,
Yeah.
Jim? Is it a big one?
Yeah, it's a nice one. We'll put it that way.
Okay. Spot locked.
Oh, there we go. Oh,
Sweet.
here we go. Oh, come here, buddy. Oh, she's not hooked that well.
I'm ready.
There you.
No matter what moves you, Seafoam works.
When you're in a business of teaching people how to catch fish, you need to provide anglers with the finest equipment, backed with the knowledge of how to use it. It's all about blending science and technology with hardcore fishing experience and passion. It's a relentless commitment to quality because it's family, it's personal, and it's all about catching more and bigger fish.
There's a real boy there.
Where we headed? Rocks. Better go with the swinging rugby jig. I know what to do. Thanks. It's articulated, swinging head. Let soft plastics move naturally and freely. I know. I designed it. Plus, it's got that extra long Z-bend hook that you love. And it's got... Hey, little help here? Oops, I'm sorry. Did you say something? Come on, help me. Turn this bag over.
They say that if you turn your passion into your career, you'll never work another day in your life. At Lund, we've turned that passion into building boats for anglers who demand superior fishability, performance, and industry-leading innovation. From our dealers, to our veteran pro staff, to our employees, the Lund family puts their hearts and souls into delivering the ultimate fishing boat that we ourselves are proud to own. That's not a job, that's a lifestyle.
No matter what moves you, Seafoam works.
The Edge is presented by these and other fine sponsors.
Oh, here we go. Oh, come here, buddy. Hope she's not hooked that well.
I'm ready.
There you. Come here, buddy. Whoop, come here. There you go.
All right. Whoa.
I was gonna say get her in the net pretty quickly. We only had her by one little hook on the back end of it.
Cool. Nice.
Boy,
fish. Boy, did that
ooh.
sound like a 70-pounder when it bit.
Boy, that was fun.
I bet it was.
I'm not kidding you.
So Jimmy said it's my turn to throw topwater. You know, we've had quite the change in weather patterns, it seems, over the trip we've had up here. And this was a spot that earlier in the week we'd seen fish and things kind of slowed down. But the one thing is, we learned this spot pretty darn well. Nice fish, another beautiful musky. We learned the spot and it made a huge difference. There's a rock pile that sticks way out from the island. And had we not known that was there, Jimmy wouldn't have thrown his topwater over it and caught this beautiful musky.
Boy, he really launched it. I know one thing, man, that thing was gurgling. Boy, it didn't, there was no follow involved. It just went crunch.
Yeah, cool. Let's get her back, huh? When it comes to musky fishing, there's no place on earth that's more fun to chase them than Northwest Ontario. It's the pinnacle of musky fishing. The spots you get to fish, the way you get to fish them, the number of fish, the scenery, on and on and on. So if you're heading up to Canada to do your musky trip, here's some tools that I would strongly recommend you have in the boat to catch these fish. First of all is the bucktail. This is the best lure choice that you can make in the warm water period to catch a muskie. These things are easy to fish, cast them out, reel them in, fish a ton of spots with them, and you'll most likely get bit. That's the absolutely best go-to bait. And when still talking about spinners, I would never come up here without having a good old-fashioned safety pin style spinner bait. This works in open water, but it's also a great tool for fishing around weeds. And a lot of times in Canada, the muskies get in those big, thick weed beds, and you need a tool like this to get them out. Safety pin spinner bait. Next is you gotta have a couple of jerk baits on board. Muskies love eating jerk baits, and I pack two different kinds. One that's in line, like a bobby bait or a suic. You jerk the rod tip, the bait goes down, and it comes back up, down, back up. Now this is more of a side-to-side bait where you snap the rod, boom, 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 and the bait glides back and forth. These can be great triggering baits, and they can also show you a lot of fish. Same time, you gotta have a crankbait with for probing the depths. If you want to do some trolling, casting deeper spots, cranks are an absolute must. Things get tough, make sure you pack some rubber along with you as well. Bulldogs, Medusas, those big pieces of rubber are certainly worth having on board. And lastly, you can never rule out topwater. No matter when you're fishing muskies, what the conditions are, there's times when the muskies won't follow anything, but they will bite on a topwater. If you've got this selection of lures on board, you don't need a lot of stuff, you just need the right stuff. You'll be able to catch muskies up here in Northwest Ontario.
Well, come here.
I've got 3 rods on the deck for fishing today, and I've got the first one that I'm throwing a lot of this is a 7'11" heavy power, fast action, a St. Croix Legend tournament with a 300 size quantum reel on it. And this is just an awesome lightweight tool for throwing little baits. It can handle big fish, no problem. I could, fight a 40-pound muskie with this stick. It's got plenty of power, but it's nice to just have that lightweight rod if you need a break or you just are making a ton of casts, and then I step it up from there. Now I go to a medium heavy muskie action in the St. Croix. This is that Legend Elite, 8.5 foot, and I'm throwing, a lot of the bigger size bucktails, double 9s, double 10s on this thing, and a lot of mid-sized musky baits. And then lastly, I've got hooked up to about 10 other lures here. I've got my heavy action. This is again an 8.5 foot rod, and this is for throwing baits that are say 5 to 10 ounces. So basically I've got rods for every size of lure that I'm throwing in the boat, the small, the medium, and the large, and I'll just mix it up throughout the day. You can't go chunking this thing for 12 hours a day or heavy baits because you start to tire, so it's nice to have something a little lighter to go to when you need a break. And all of them can definitely handle the fight of the muskie, and they're designed perfectly for the weight of the lure. I like the change in weather. This seems a little more conducive for an evening bite than that cold, windy stuff. Oh, got him.
Got him? There you go.
Big one, big one, big one, Jimmy.
I'm on it.
Big
I'm on
one.
it, Bubba. Get him. Stay tight. Stay tight on them. There you go. Yep.
Wow.
Monster?
It's a monster.
Well, let's see. Oh, boy, yeah, look at that whippersnapper. Wow, that's a good one here. Whoa, whoa, that's a real one there. That's a whippersnapper. Whoa, that's a big one there.
Whoa, I knew that when she hit it. I knew I had a hog.
Yeah. The odd thing was like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, we actually saw a big fish on a crankbait on this exact same spot, and it's interesting. Come back a couple of days later, whether it's probably not the same fish on many of these structures. There's more than one fish on it. That's a big one. I know, I want to get her in the boat.
Wow. Big fish, Jimmy, big fish.
I like him.
That's cool. We pulled up on that spot. Wow, did she smoke it, dude?
Did she?
Holy cow, the bait hit the water and she drilled it. It's a monster, guys. Here we go,
Yep, I'm going to get her.
I'm shaking so bad I can't get it.
Well,
no.
Yes!
Yes! Yes! Oh, yeah!
Look at that one
Oh,
there. That's
I wanted
a big
one
one.
of those so bad.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Here,
Let
where's
me
the
see
pliers?
that
I
thing,
can get
Jimmy.
Ochi. I can get her out. The hook's almost
Oh
out.
my gosh.
There you go. What a tank.
Whoa. Whoa.
There we
Wow,
go.
is this a Canadian giant or what? Another giant comes out of Eagle. You know, we spend a lot of time fishing a lot of spots. We placed our bets on spots that look good. We fished them again and again, learned more each time, and eventually, this is what happened. Unbelievable animal.
Better get her
I'm gonna
back.
get her wet.
Yeah, boy, that's a beautiful animal,
Oh.
man.
You know, I've been fortunate enough to make my living in small family businesses pretty much my entire life. And over the years, I've worked with all kinds of people in all kinds of situations, experiencing the good, the bad, the ugly. And I'm old enough now where I've been around the horn a little bit. I've seen life from many different perspectives. And there's one thing that stands out that I really, really learned, and I wanted to share it with you. There's always two sides to every story. And don't ever, 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 ever make an important decision based on hearing the first thing you hear, or only one side to the stories, because it never, ever is proven to be quite like that. Now, there's a scripture in the Bible, like there is for all aspects of life, real clear. Proverbs 18:17 says, "The first one to plead his cause seems right until his neighbor comes and examines him." There's always two sides to every story. Wisdom says, listen with an open mind and an open heart before you make any decisions. If you rush into a bad decision, it will always cost you. Always cost you. That's one of the most important things I've learned in 70-something years on this earth. Hey, from all of us here at The Edge, you have a good, safe fishing season. We'll see you on the water.
Hey, I want to take a moment to thank you for watching. And if you really like what you see, we got a whole lot more. So check us out at any one of these online outlets. You know, in fishing, there are good days and there are great days. Time is just a wink from the Almighty. We plan, target, rig, and play the game like everyone else.